I want to bring in Trump campaign senior advisor Tim Murtaugh. Here's just one more piece from President Trump last night. Call for number one.
I can win New York, and we can win New York. We're going to win New York. And if you vote for me, I'm going to reduce your taxes, reduce your crime, and reduce your levels of stress.
Lots of reasons to have an event in New York, obviously packed, very interesting. I don't know if he'll actually end up winning it, but one of the things, Tim, that this could do is help a lot of those down-ballot Republicans who are in tough swing districts that the Democrats have targeted this time around.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons why you would want to do a rally in New York. As Aisha pointed out, it is the media capital of the world, and everything he says gets beamed right into the living rooms of everybody in key DMAs, key markets in battleground states. It also helps with the congressional races there in New York, and majority in Congress is key. What a great, enthusiastic rally that was. 60,000 ticket requests, and it's the first rally, of course, that he has held since the second assassination attempt. So every reason in the world to do that, and I think it's a very effective argument. What do you have to lose? People can look around. The reason this entire campaign sets up well for Donald Trump is that everyone who will vote in it has lived through both administrations, the Trump administration and the Biden-Harris administration. They can look around and see their lives are worse now than they were just 4 years ago. That's a key selling point. And if I could, Dana, it's a riot to hear Tony Blinken yet again talking about misinformation. He is the one who personally quarterbacked the letter from the 51 intelligence officials that lied and said that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, and now he's the one who's on guard for misinformation. Give me a break.
Let's talk about what the FBI and some others are talking about now with regard to Iran. Here's the joint statement that went out. It said Iranian malicious cyber actors sent unsolicited emails to individuals then associated with President Biden's campaign that contained an excerpt taken from stolen non-public material from former President Trump's campaign as text in the emails. I mean, shades of 2016 and John Podesta and the fishing expedition for the passwords there. The Harris team is saying we're not aware of it and we condemn it even if it happened. What do you know about this?
Well, it's election interference, isn't it? Plain and simple. And there's no mystery why that would be. When Donald Trump was president, Iran was weak and broke. And under Biden and Harris, they are strong and rich. And so, of course, the Iranians prefer Kamala Harris, of course, because they have a pliant, sympathetic figure in her. The questions here today are, what exactly did the Harris campaign do with this stolen information that they were sent? What did they do with it? Did they try to shop it to the media? Did they use it in any way? This is absolutely election interference. And the big question today is, what did Kamala Harris know and when did she know it about this Iranian election interference? No question it's happening.
I want to play for you something from Dan Hoffman, one of our contributors and experts from Fox and Friends First this morning. Watch.
It does demonstrate that Iran and look, China, Russia, they're all seeking to interfere with our democratic process. And what they want is for Americans not to trust our own democracy. That's what Russia and China, North Korea and Iran are all fighting against. What scares those dictators the most is democracy. And it's open season on our election process.
Tim, Biden and Harris have both been asked several times on all sorts of different foreign policy fronts about interference or even coming over to the border, et cetera. And their message simply to those countries, at least publicly, what we see is they just say, don't. What would President Trump say to them?
I think President Trump shows exactly how he treats rogue nations like this. He was tougher on Russia with sanctions than this administration has been, or indeed any previous administration. He was quite clearly tougher on Iran, who are the bad actors at the center of this latest incident. The sanctions, again, as I just said, when he was president, Iran was weak and broke and unable to fund terror around the world. Now, under the Biden-Harris regime, they are strong and rich, and they are back to their old game of funding terror. And yeah, it's election interference, and folks on the Harris side, they would rather people not know about things like what happened yesterday with the Teamsters. By 2-1, union members in the Teamsters said that they support Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. And for the first time in a couple of generations, the Teamsters Union failed to endorse the Democrat for president. That is a giant, giant thing that happened yesterday. In fact, in the New York rally, the Teamsters were the ones who built out the arena and set up all the staging and everything like that. What a great message that the Iranians and the Harris campaign are in alignment on this. They don't want Americans to know that working people support Donald Trump, because he will get the economy going again and fix what Kamala Harris has wrecked. Correct.
Tim, thanks for coming on today. We're going to get
Good to have
that union matter in a few moments here. 1996, by the way, was the last time. Remember what was going on back then? It was NAFTA, it was Bill Clinton. Tim, thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.